Stephenson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The UK has a real opportunity to lead the world in the production of sustainable aviation fuels, and this bill aims to provide the investment certainty needed to scale up domestic SAF production and achieve just that. My constituency is located a stone's throw away from London Luton Airport. It's a rapidly expanding regional airport, and that expansion will bring with it huge economic benefits, including jobs for thousands of my constituents, as well as better connections for business and leisure. Indeed, airport expansion will help to bring millions of people to the Universal UK theme park, which I have to mention every time I stand up, and play a key role in driving local economic growth. But as much as it's important to support the growth of airports like Luton, it's important that expansion happens as sustainably as possible, ensuring that we get as many of the benefits and as few of the harms as possible. This is the subject of a current Environmental Audit Committee inquiry, which I was pleased to have secured, which is investigating how the government can deliver airport expansion whilst meeting its legally binding climate targets. Some, like the Climate Change Committee, say it's not possible, and the government will need to square that circle. With around 7% of greenhouse gases derived from aviation in the UK, we shouldn't underestimate the challenge, Madam Deputy Speaker, but it's clear to me that sustainable aviation fuels are an important piece of the jigsaw. In my constituency of Mid-Bedfordshire, Cranfield University and local industry are already working at the cutting edge of developing new technologies in this area. I've heard from them and from other experts about the potential in British-made sustainable aviation fuels, and I've even learnt about second-generation SAF, not something I thought that I would get into this time last year, which turns the waste that we all put in our black bins every week into the fuel that to power us on adventures abroad. That's a remarkable thing, and I'm glad to have learnt it since coming into this House. If we get sustainable aviation fuels right, we can create and support thousands of highly skilled jobs in places like Cranfield. And to me, doing more to stimulate the development of sustainable aviation fuels is an obvious route to economic growth. But could the Minister perhaps reflect on our global market position, explain how this mechanism compares to other approaches, and give an assurance that the measures in this bill will be enough to avoid the UK aviation industry needing to import SAF from abroad? It would be a huge missed opportunity to later find that this mechanism and related policies have not been ambitious enough, leaving foreign countries to benefit from domestic mandates. One thing that strikes me immediately as worthy of some more thought, and which the Minister may wish to comment on, is that point on black bin waste. If we can take waste that was headed to landfill and instead use it to power us into the sky, that seems to me to be such a simple way forward. Whether there's enough of it is another matter. Declaring my interest as a Central Bedfordshire councillor, would the Minister consider the merits of including in this bill, or perhaps elsewhere, a requirement for the Secretary of State to provide local authorities with guidance about how they can take advantage of this opportunity to help in the national effort to scale up production? Unless it's financially prohibitive for them to do so, would it not be sensible and pragmatic to use our household waste in this way, rather than heading to landfill or local incinerators? And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I have a few questions for the Minister on the costs of aviation travel, if I may. As we all know, times are tight for many of our constituents. UK air passenger duty is the world's highest tax levied on airline passengers, and following the autumn budget, the OBR forecasts that it'll increase 9% a year on average to a whopping $6.5 billion in 2029-30. On top of that, this bill is estimated to raise the cost of the ticket of travel, an impact stemming from both the levy and the administration costs. And I know the ministers say that it's a modest increase. But that's why some might prefer the government to have taken forward an alternative funding mechanism, such as through the industry's contribution to the UK emissions trading scheme. I'm not saying the government should take that approach, but I think it would be worthwhile the government explaining why it's taken the approach that it's taken. Reflecting that this bill and the costs of it come on top of decisions in the autumn budget to increase air passenger duty, can the Minister provide any assurance at all that our hard-working constituents, that this bill won't clobber them with yet higher prices to jet off on their family holiday? Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.